Chris Fairman. I'm the immediate past chair of the foundation. This will be my last year. And I just wanted to share we started this conversation a year and a half ago with Dennis and Scott, and I wanted to, really thank them for their courage to realize the way we've been doing things might not be the best way, and to, it's a difficult thing for people to do who have been doing it for 4 or 5 decades, maybe. So, it's when we first started talking about this gift, there were a lot of unknowns. These two fellas did a lot of due diligence, asked us a lot of questions, rightfully so. We had a lot of answers, but there were still unknowns. And ultimately, I'd like to thank them for their courage to do something different, their trust that we would be stewards of these funds. We would ensure that they continue to benefit podorthic students, podorthic researchers, podorthic practitioners, and ultimately the podorthic patients you all serve. And one of the big commitments we made as a foundation, both in orthotic research, prosthetic research, and ultimately podorthic research, was we do entertain grant requests from outside of our small circle of professionals here, but in any podorthic research, there will be a certified podorthist, Jeff,
thank you.
in the group. So we've made that commitment long ago. There's a lot of research outside of here that Dennis has shared over the years, but we need folks in this room to be part of that research as well. So thank you for your trust, thank you for your faith. Ultimately, thank you for your very generous gift, and it'll be used wisely.
You all may or may not know me. I'm Scott Williamson. I'm behind the scenes kind of guy. I don't like to be out in front of folks. But I've been on the Orthotics Foundation board for a while. I started out with ABC, and one of the first people I met was Ernesto Castro, and he had a big impression on me. But I came to understand very quickly how important management of the therapeutic foot, diabetic foot is, and also how foundational, pardon the pun, the foot is to the whole health of the body. And sometimes that's not recognized. So going along with Jeff's talk about professionalism, that's been the drum I've beat since I learned what O&P is. And as we're talking to the folks here at this foundation, to me and to Dennis, it was super important that we have appropriate podorthic representation. I was on the AAOPA's COPAL committee, which was giving out grant funding too. So every time there's an opportunity for grant funding, it's important to me that this community is represented when it's appropriate for that grant. And so we really did go round and round with these guys. Not that they were resistant, but in trying to make sure that podorthic representation was adequate, was appropriate, and recognizes not only the devices, because I don't like device research, I like to know the clinical research, what's going on between your ears. And that's what we want to emphasize. So, Jeff, I appreciate your talk. It's right in alignment with what we're doing. And we believe, I think, in my whole heart, and I believe Dennis too, that entrusting these funds that we manage through the Podorthic Foundation to these guys is going to amplify our voice in the community. It's going to make us that much more integrated with O&P. And we understand how important the podorthic part is to whole health care. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dennis.
Morning, everybody. I've got a few notes. I don't like to use notes, but all of you know if I get up here and get going, this could take the rest of the hour. So I start my stories. But this is a wonderful event. I mean, this is something that we really needed to happen. I do want you to know, I mean, it was sort of not my choice. I was back being the president of the foundation. And it was a big decision for the guys and gals that were on the foundation board to make this move. But I want you to know that it was a unanimous decision with the foundation board to make this move. And I think it was the right move. I'm getting the Founders Award, I guess, in a little while, so I'm the historian here. So I just was going to talk a little bit, just informational on where the foundation was. I mean, years ago, Bob will remember how active the foundation was, and things were cheaper then. Research wasn't as big a commitment, and it was easier to do. The schools weren't as expensive, so the scholarships were less money. But we, at our symposiums, and in those days, symposiums were hundreds of people, maybe 1,000 people. I mean, they were big symposiums. We did all kinds of things. I mean, we had raffles. We sold coffee mugs with the Orthotics Foundation on it, T-shirts, and everything else. We had gala events. I mean, fundraising dinners. And I mean, they were almost like black tie type things to raise money. And so it was all really grassroots type stuff. We had an auction, I can remember an auction that we had, and there were all kinds of things that people would donate, but at one of them, and I think it was in New York, Fred Childress was one of our founders. I'm going to talk about him later on. But somebody said, let's auction Fred Childress's tie. And so we ripped his tie off of him. And I was proud. I bought that stupid tie. I don't know how much I paid for it. But, so that was sort of where the foundation was. But it was a long time ago. A lot of things have changed. Research that we did do early, some of Geza Coulter's early research was actually funded by us, or partially funded by the foundation. Some of you folks wouldn't even, I know some will remember, others may not really realize, but we, in Orthotics, children's footwear used to be a foundation. We used to have children's footwear stores that only sold children's shoes. And that all disappeared within 2 years because of Dr. Stahaley. But Dean Morgan in Texas actually got together and did a real quick study to try and show that those children's shoes actually did make a difference, but ultimately it was too little too late. But those are some of the things that we were involved in way back then. So, and it just, I know I think we in roundabout way said this, but I think there's naysayers to this bringing Orthotics and O&P together, and that's disappointing, and I think that this is where we belong. I think that we're all working together. I won't say that we always did. We were very separate. At one time, the merger of ABC and BCP, Board for Certification of Orthotics, that was the first step. I think that was a good step because I'm not sure that BCP could have really accomplished what we needed to be accomplished. There's legislation after that ABC helped us with, and for one, some of the issues with the therapeutic shoe bill and everything else. So that was sort of the first merger of the two organizations, I would say. And now we've got that taken care of. AAOP, actually, I'm not the right meeting to talk about AAOP, but AAOP has embraced Orthotics. I mean, at AAOP, you can get just as many continuing education points as the O&P folks. Seamus did a one-day program here at the Academy. Now we've got PFA here. So it's just, I think this is all good. I think this is where it should be going. We're bringing all the associations and practitioners together, and we're acknowledged. I think we resisted that. I didn't, but I mean a lot of people resisted it. But it's a necessary thing to happen, and I think it's going to just flourish and help all of us as we get to bring everything together. All right. Yeah, want to do a picture?
Yes.
So yeah, we talked about the amount.
Yes, I think that's a great thing to talk about the amount. And Jeff, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, come on up and stand by your check, darling. Put some money in the bag.
The Orthotics Foundation, not donated, I guess we transferred $100,300.
Wow.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention that these funds were matched by ABC. So their funds are unrestricted, ours are restricted for pedorthic research. But so this is really a $200,000 contribution to the foundation. So we're super happy.
And so,
We have scholarships opening up in
Right.
May, two $5,000, basically full ride scholarships for pedorthic students. Likely we will be increasing that award amount, number of awards that is, next year based on demand. We have professional awards development program opening up this summer as well as this fall for compensation to attend AAOP's pedorthics programming, PFA's academy. So there's lots of opportunities, and I really urge you to get on our website, take a look at what we have. And if you're in any way, shape, or form interested in a leadership role and a committee role in reviewing these opportunities and lending us your voice, we'd love to hear from you.
And they can't do it without you,
No,
right?
not
We
possible.
really need the boots on the ground, CPADs to come in here and guide and help. And it can be a small commitment of a few hours a month to a more engaged commitment with them, whatever suits you. But if you love the profession, get involved here, because this is going to shape it.
So thanks again to the O&P Foundation.
Thank you for having us.